Hi everyone, it's Tawney. You can kind of see me over here. In today's video, I'm going to be ranking my bronzers. Now, I'll tell you, when I first saw people starting to do these videos, I got very overwhelmed because I don't like ranking my makeup or trying to pit like one over the other. Like, I think all makeup's great. I mean, I love makeup, but I do realize that I do have my favorites. This is all going to be completely opinionated, so I do apologize if something that you like isn't as ranked as highly as, in my opinion, but this is just how I feel about these things. I have some that the shades, like I have multiple, like I have two of the butter bronzers, but in two different shades. So I think I'm just going to put one of those, so that way it doesn't get too confusing. But I think the rest of them I only have in one shade. I know I had two of the city bronzers, but I only brought one out. So yeah, we're going to get started. I do have a couple of pressed powders, like setting powders, but they're in bronzer shades, so I'm going to consider them as bronzers. So I do apologize if that gets a little confusing, but I don't think any of those are going to be ranked number one, but we'll see. Not quite sure where to start. I have a lot that I'm like a little bit iffy on. I think I'm going to start with the lower parts and then work my way up to the best ones, because I already think I know which one's the best like couple are going to be. But I think my lowest one is probably going to be the Too Faced bronzer. This is the Milk Chocolate Soleil. It's in light medium. It's the one that smells like really good of chocolate. I like it, but I just don't feel like it does much. So I'm just going to put that down here lower. I am sorry if the camera angle is a little weird. I wasn't quite sure how to do this, but I will show you an overview at the end so you can see. The next one I'm probably going to put, I think I'm going to take the Balm Take Home the Bronze. This is in the shade, oh, what shade is this? Thomas, and it's an anti-orange bronzer. I found that they say this is anti-orange and it still shows up kind of orange, and I was a little bit like annoyed because they say anti-orange and then it comes off orange, and I'm like, well, what's the point of calling it anti-orange if it's still going to show up like that? And maybe I just got the wrong like undertone with it, but it just doesn't really work for me, so I'm going to put that as my lower one. The next one I'm going to put is the JCat Golden Soleil Baked Bronzer in the shade Bora Bora Beach. And I really do like this one, but I'm only putting it lower because for me personally, it is a little bit too warm. And I find that if I put too much on my face, I look like I'm trying to be J-Lo whenever I'm really like Casper the Friendly Ghost. So I'm just going to put that lower. The next one, I think I'm going to put the Flower Beauty Heat Wave Luminous Bronzer in the shade Sunswept. Just because I'm not like I'm not the biggest fan of it. And I do think it's nice. I know Allie Glines really likes mixing both shades of these, but I just couldn't see myself picking up both shades to make a bronzer. Like, I'd rather just use one that I know works. And that's just my personal opinion. The next one is going to be a Physicians Formula Bronze Booster. And this one had been my favorite for so long. Like, if I could hit pan in something, it probably would have been this. I mean, I know I did butter bronzer in like an old one because I recently got newer shades that I like better. But I really do like this one. I would definitely recommend it. You know, if you can buy it and pick it up, go for it. Use coupons because Physicians Formula is expensive. But I'm going to put this at number 5 just because I think that I have others that work better. Let's see. I think I'm going to put Maybelline City Bronzer as 6, which it would go from like 1 being the lowest to like whatever, however, like 12, 13 is being the highest. I think I have like maybe 13, 14. This is in the shade 200. I also have the shade 100, but I prefer deeper bronzers just because I find that they sometimes look like they show up. Sometimes lighter bronzers don't show up, but I do like this one. It's definitely not my favorite, but I think it's a good one to pick up from the drugstore, and it's definitely at a cheap price. Another one I'm going to put down there is probably going to be my Milani. It's the Silky Matte Bronzing Powder in Suntan, which is number 3. And I really do like this. And whenever I had bought this, I was staying at, I think I was dog sitting at the time. And I wasn't coming back to my apartment, so I was staying at this other person's house. And I only had this bronzer and another one because I'd recently gone to CVS to pick this up. And I really do like this one, but I just don't think it has like quite as much of a punch as what I'd like for my bronzer. The next one after that would probably be my BH Cosmetics Brilliance Bronzer in the shade Golden Gal. And I really do like this, and I would like to get it in a different shade. I mean, I do like this shade, and I think it works fine. I just like to try the other shades because I couldn't figure out which one that I really liked, if that makes sense. Like, I liked all the shades, and I thought I could have made them all work, but like, I don't know, I picked up this one because it was a lighter shade. I don't know if it's the lightest, but I know this was one that Tati recommended. And I really like the packaging of this too. Like, it's very nice for BH Cosmetics, considering the rest of their line of cosmetics isn't like the greatest. After that, I'm going to go with the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder, and this is in the shade 21 Nude, which I don't know if I consider this shade nude, but nude is always like, you know, for a deeper skin tone, nude would match them, whereas for me, nude would be like light, you know, like light fair kind of a thing. But I really do like this powder as a bronzer. I think that's a great alternative. If you can't find a good bronzer and you like a certain powder, go with a deeper shade that you know works. So I'm going to put that as number 9. Yeah, my math was right. Number 9. Let's see. Number 10 is going to be the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker Instant Warmth Bronzer in Inda Sun. I wish I would have gotten a deeper shade of this. I don't know if this was the lightest shade or if it was the second lightest, but I feel like it sometimes doesn't show up all the way. Like, I really like the way my skin looks when I wear it, but I'm not sure if it's the rest of my makeup or if it is this bronzer. I'm kind of a little cheesed, though, that I spent like the $20-$30 on this for it to like kind of not really show up. But I do like it, and I wanted to support Fenty, and I wanted to buy a Fenty product, so that's what I bought. The next one I'm going to put is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Sunkissed Bronzer. And it's not so much with the shade, this is just the shade I have. I have this one and the sculpting one, but this one's a little bit more of like a bronzer. The sculpting shade is more of a contour shade on me. But I really do like this bronzer. I don't know if it's the bulky packaging or the fact that it's from the drugstore, but I'm not completely wowed by it. And I'm not sure why, because there's nothing wrong with the product, and I know that everybody likes it. But I sometimes find for me that it takes a while for this to build up, and I'm not a big fan of like having to constantly build this up. So I'm going to put that a little bit lower, even though I do think it's great. My top 4 are like some of my die-hard favorites. I'm going to put this one as the 4th from the top because it is, I don't know if it's discontinued, but it is from a collection, and I don't really want to like rate it super high considering I don't use it much because I'm afraid that whenever I run out, I won't be able to get it again. It's the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in the shade You're Dragging Me Down. This was from like the Fire and Ice collection, I think, or like the Dragon collection. I like this bronzer 1,000 times better than I like their other bronzers that they came out with in like the rectangular shape. I just find that this looks so nice, and this is a really deep shade. Like, it almost doesn't look like it would work. I'm sorry about the like weird lighting right now, but I really do like this, and I think it's great. And I might go onto Amazon and see if I can find these and just get extras, because I did that with the Hummingbird collection with one of their blushes. But I really do like that, and I wish they would have stuck with this formula. The next one I'm gonna rank is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronzette Bronzer in the shade 1 Light. And this is huge, and I'm having a hard time opening it. Okay, this is a huge pan, and I want to commend L'Oreal. Even though this is like $14, my mom almost had a heart attack when I bought this because she was like, $14 for a bronzer? I don't pay that much money for my makeup. But it's like, oh, you haven't seen me at Sephora when I spent like $100 on 2 foundations, you know? But like, I really do like that the pan shade is huge, and even though it might not be like super deep, I do like thick wise, I do think that you do get a lot for your money, and it's like, I've used this a lot, and I don't feel like I'm anywhere close to hitting pan, so I really do like it. And I think that this shade, like even this being the lightest shade, and I'm more like for lighter skin type and skin tone and stuff, I think that this adds like a really nice contour to my face, as well as like adding some bronzeness to my face, if that makes sense. But I like using it as a bronzer. But yeah, I think it's really nice. Okay, I think I might have lied. I might be putting a setting powder as my number 1. I'm going to do it. So my number 2 is the e.l.f. This is the Primer Infused Bronzer in Forever Sun Kissed. I love this bronzer. I use this all the time. It's so like, it's more of like a yellow tone, I would say. And I think it adds that like more yellowness, like I guess ivoryness, if that's the right word to use, like to my features, that like doesn't make it look red or orange. I think it looks really nice, and for the drugstore, it's so nice, and it's primer infused, which makes me kind of feel like it's going to last a little bit longer. I would definitely recommend this one, especially because it was like $5 or so. And then my top pick, I'm like super excited about this because I love this find, and I found this from a Tati video where she talked with Thomas Halpert, and he recommended this, and it's the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Powder in the shade Buff Beige 725. I've hit pan on this because I use this all the time, and I'm not sure if maybe it's like not a deep pan. But I love this. This looks so nice on my skin. I feel like it's like airbrushed, and it like adds that perfect smoothness to my face and doesn't accentuate any texture or any pores that I have. I really like using this if I don't set my whole face, but I feel like my face needs to be set, then I can use this because it's also a setting powder, which is what I like about having setting powders in a deeper shade, because then it adds that extra like oomph to it. I would definitely recommend people trying this, even in any kind of setting powder, but especially this one. If you're like more of a lighter skin tone, you can go this dark. I think this is such a good like bronzer, even though it's not really a bronzer. Okay, and now I'm going to show you all of my bronzers in the order that they are ranked in. So this would be the lowest, and it goes up like this, and then goes up like this, and then we have these, and our number one, I better put this down here. So this is our number one. And I think I did a really good job ranking these in terms of like how I use them, how I like them. There's some that I might have ranked a little bit lower, just depending on when I use them and stuff. But I think I've ranked them pretty much on how much I use them, which is kind of a good indication of whether or not I like them and if they're good and all of that. Definitely like this video and comment if you want to see another one of these, and like blushes, foundations. I definitely want to do on a foundation because foundation's like my favorite step of makeup. But definitely don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. I'm definitely going to start making more videos. I want to do more of these ranking videos because I think they're kind of interesting, and they make me like think about my makeup in ways that I don't normally like to do that. But that's the best thing about makeup, is that you get out of your comfort zone. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!